I'm about to tell you exactly how I went from a broke construction worker to making over $75,000 in a single month at 23 years old. Now, I know it might sound like any other YouTube video, but if you just dedicate 10 minutes of your life to watching this video, I want to make sure that it helps inspire you and helps you know that it is possible for you as well. I want you to truly believe that you can achieve everything I've achieved and more. So it all started 2 years ago. I was working in construction. I was completely broke, working 12-hour days, doing the same shit every single day. It was soul sucking. I had no clue what I was actually supposed to be doing with my life, but I knew deep down that I wanted more. I didn't want to wake up every day and bust my arms for barely enough money to survive. At the time, I was living at home at my dad's house. I had a girl. I was making decent money, but I was not satisfied with my life, because I knew if I stayed on this path forever that I would stay in the same situation forever. I would end up living just a mediocre, comfortable life in the middle. I ended up breaking up with my girlfriend that I was with for over 3 years. I quit working for my dad and I moved to Melbourne with like $17,000 in my bank account, thinking, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I know I'm gonna figure this shit out. So fast forward a couple months and that money was gone. I drained it so quickly just with the cost of living. I ended up working an even worse job than before. I'd be shoveling mud in the freezing cold at like 5 a.m. in the morning. I had to walk 20 minutes to get to my car because there wasn't any car parks in the apartment building, and I would always get parking fines and they'd be like $100. But at the time, that would literally fuck me up for like the month. Every day, it was the same miserable grind. It sucked and I felt like a complete failure. But when I hit rock bottom, when everything was burning down, when everything was fucking terrible for me, that's exactly what I needed. That was the turning point. It was the catalyst for change, because truly I'd pretty much lost everything. I had like a terrible life. I did not enjoy really a second of my life. Now, I was still like obviously happy to be alive, still grateful, but there was nothing in my life where I got to wake up and be excited for. But there was beauty in this because it meant I had nothing to lose. I could now risk everything and try shit and burn shit down and fail. I couldn't keep doing this forever. So while I was still shoveling mud, still working my construction job, I started to look into all the different ways to make money online. I came across sales and I learned about digital products. These are just things like mentorships, coaching, consulting, and I learned how people are actually making money. I stumbled across SMMA and that was the first thing I tried, and I failed. This was because I had no idea how to do anything. I didn't know how to acquire clients. I didn't know how to retain clients. I didn't know how to run ads. I didn't know how to run a business because I didn't have any business skills. So as I'm failing this social media marketing agency, I'm still trying to make it work, but nothing's really working. And I decided to just go to a bar and watch a football game with one of my homies. In this bar, there was one other person. It was like this 40-year-old guy. And we got to talking about social media marketing and he said, fuck all that, you should do high ticket sales. And I'm like, what the fuck even is that? He explained what it is to me and he gave me 2 Facebook groups to join. I started reaching out and putting posts in that Facebook group about wanting a job. Some random guy reached out and asked me if I was trying to get into high ticket sales. And I said yes. He said he could mentor me for $6,000, and for some reason I ended up paying him that and he became my mentor. Very coincidental. It could be coincidence or it could be God. I know which one I think it is. Now, at the time, I didn't have that kind of money. I literally had to borrow the money to make this work. But I had so much faith in the process and I had so much faith in it working that I did that and I took that risk. And let me tell you, that one risk that I took and that one person who I took it with is the reason that I am here today. He taught me everything about high ticket sales. He taught me how to find products, how to sell these products, how to speak to people, how to communicate effectively, how to articulate my ideas well. Literally everything. Now, eventually through these skills, I ended up getting an appointment setting role for someone within that agency. My first week appointment setting, I made $600. Now, although that was barely enough money, it was less than I was making in my construction job. Me being a little bit restarted, I just quit my job. I said, fuck it, let me burn the boats. And it wasn't smooth sailing after that. For the next 2 weeks, I only made $250 and my rent was $250. So now I literally am not making enough money to live. So at this point, I'm thinking I might have to go back to a regular job. I might be fucked. But then someone said that they couldn't make a closing call, which is where you're actually speaking to the prospect and closing deals. I said I would take the call and I closed that deal for $3,500 and I made $350 in 1 hour, which completely changed my whole mind and opened up my mind to the reality of what's possible with this. Now, I kept trying to do this, but I was realizing I was getting distracted by the city and the other things happening. And that is when I decided to move back in with my dad and start locking myself in my room and just figuring out how I'm going to get to 10K a month. Now, when I say as soon as I cut off distractions, I mean literally the first month back in with my dad, just locking myself in my room. The next month, I made my first $10,000 a month. It was actually $12,000 a month. And that's when I realized this is it. I'm literally about to change my life. I knew this was going to work because 1, I had no backup plan, and 2, I wasn't going to quit. This is how I'm going to change my life. Now, when I say I locked myself in my room, I mean it. I stopped going out, I stopped seeing friends, I stopped messaging anyone back. All I would do is go to the gym and work. I didn't do anything that didn't serve or move me closer towards my goal. Some people call it monk mode, some people call it locking in, but I just call it having a fucking mission that's worthwhile in pursuing. I had no choice but to make it work because I knew where I wanted to be. I could see it super clearly and I would do anything to make it happen. It was literally on some 50 cent shit, like get rich or die trying. My mentor, the same person who told me everything I knew, suggested that I started posting content. This is when everything changed because I started posting content and talking about what I was doing. Then I started to build my personal brand. Then people wanted to learn from me and my mentor. And that's when everything changed because now I went from someone who could just take sales calls to someone who could literally have an impact on the world. I started posting content. I started documenting my journey. I started providing value. I started storytelling and everything exploded very quickly. I just started putting up shots when it came to content. My early content was not very good, but as you do it more and you do a volume of content, you start to get really good at content creation. And now where I'm at is I create really good content and I try to impact people and I try to shift perspectives and I try to really improve other people's lives through my content and through my education. And by doing that, I've built a strong personal brand and people message me and they tell me like how much I've helped them, even if they haven't joined my community, even if it's just the knowledge they've picked up from the content that I make. And it is a very beautiful thing. And I can tell you right now that being someone who puts yourself out there and you actually put something into the universe and you get creative with it is one of the best things to do. And I've found that not only does it help you make an impact and live a fulfilling life, but it also gives you a really, really good living. A lot of people ask me how I did it, but there is no secret formula. What I truly believe it is having a clear vision, having a strong enough why, and believing that you can do it. Because if you have those three things, then you can pretty much figure out any how. But you need to be willing to sacrifice everything. You need to be willing to go all in and put in the work. I wasn't some genius or someone who was supernaturally gifted. I was just hungry. I just decided that I was going to figure this shit out no matter what. Now I'm making $75,000 a month, traveling, living life on my own terms. I control where I go, who I do it with, what I do. I've lived in Japan, Dubai, Miami, Spain, Australia, all just this year. And I'm telling you guys, this happened for me in less than 2 years. Literally 1 year ago, I was still broke. And now I've literally traveled the globe. I'm doing exactly what I want to be doing with the people that I want to be doing it with. But more than that, I get to help people do the same. I get to make an impact on people. That's the real reward, is helping my homies and building new homies through my content, helping them make the same kind of money and impact their lives as well. So if you're out there right now and you hate your job and you know you're meant for more, just know that it is possible to change your life and it is possible to change everything very fast. But you've got to be willing to sacrifice your old identity, sacrifice your old life, become a completely new person. Don't look for balance. Don't look for an easy way out. This is not easy. Don't let anyone convince you that it's easy, but it is 100% worth it. Lock yourself in your room, get really fucking good at something, and go all in. Obsession is your key to greatness. That's my story. That's how I went from broke to $75,000 a month in less than a year at 23 years old. So please listen. If there's one thing that you take from this video, please let it be that no one is coming to save you. You have to be the one that can make this work. And you are the one that can f this up. No one's going to hand you success, but your dream life, everything you want, is simply waiting for you to do the work and come get it. Now, you're gonna hit walls, you're going to fail, you're going to f up, but if you do not quit, then your success is inevitable. You've just got to be willing to get uncomfortable, really uncomfortable. You're going to have moments where you doubt everything. You're going to have moments where money isn't necessarily coming in how you thought it would be, and it feels like you've made the wrong decision. I've seen countless people get to that point and quit, but I've seen other people get to that point, persist, and then get to the top. And that's exactly why these people don't make it. You have to keep pushing, even when it sucks, even when you're unsure, especially when it sucks. Because that's where the growth happens. When you go all in, when you burn the boats, when you don't give yourself a plan B, that's when you see results. If you want freedom, you want to live life on your own terms, it's possible, but you need to be relentless. You've got to be obsessed with making it happen. Don't wait for the perfect moment. It is not coming. The perfect moment is now. Start where you are with what you have and figure it out along the way.